Hey Morganton, I'm Ethan Smith, City of Morganton Public Information Officer. I'm joined today by Kamma Director Mike Musick for an interview about who is Mike Musick. Hey Mike, thanks for being here today. How are you?
How are you?
Good, doing good. So where are you from?
Most recently, I am from a little town in Illinois called Macomb. But I've also lived all over the country: New York City, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Kansas City, Columbus, Ohio. Gotcha. And now I'm from here.
Yes. And what was your hometown like?
Hometown, we moved around a lot as a kid, but I consider my hometown Andover, Kansas.
Okay.
Bedroom community for Wichita, Kansas.
Right.
Small town, not really anything, but you know, I had 79 people in my graduating class. So
Gotcha.
We were a small town, and we wanted anything, we went into Wichita.
Gotcha. Fair enough. Now, what sparked your interest in theater initially?
I did the first show when I was in the 3rd grade, and it just hit something, and I don't know what it was. And then I started doing shows, you know, all through grade school and high school. Right. When I was 16 years old, I apprenticed at Musick Theater of Wichita in like all different departments for their season, and you know, I was just sitting there one time going, this is a job? Yeah. You know, but it deals with everything. Right. And it's fun, and the people you work with are intelligent, and you have challenges every day, you know, riddles to solve. And right. That was it. And whether you're you know, in the front of the camera or on the stage or you're backstage, you know, there's always something to do, always a way to figure it out. Right. And it's about making decisions. Right. Whether you're acting in a show, you make a decision. Right. Might be a wrong decision, but you can always fix it. Right. You know, we have a theory in the theater, you know, as long as nobody dies, we can fix it.
Fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough. Gotcha. So just briefly, tell me some things that you've done in your career that have really stood out to you and that you really enjoyed prior to coming to Morganton.
Oh, I've worked at a pizza restaurant. My father was a gourmet chef and ran restaurants. So anytime, starting at the age of about 12, that I wanted to see Dad, right. I had to go work for him. So I ended up washing dishes. I've swept floors. I've been a janitor. I've done every job in the theater.
Gotcha.
I've been lighting designer, set designers. I really love being a production assistant, which is basically the person that does everything. Yeah. You know, if you need coffee, the PA gets it. You know, but through that, I've met Milton Berle. I mean, the list of people that I've met and interacted with. And would they remember me? No. You know, because I had to go up to Uncle Milty and get him to bring him down for a sound check. Right. I was just the annoying person that said, "Let's go now." Right. But no, and working all over the United States and working in the theater. I've toured shows. I've done sit downs. I've done off Broadway. I've done like Las Vegas shows. They all stand out. And sure. I've worked at Enterprise Rent-A-Car, which was actually a great job. I got to drive somebody else's really nice cars. Right.
Yeah. So now, speaking of standout moments, and something that stood out to me was, when we initially spoke and we were getting the press release ready about your arrival, you sent us a vintage headshot, if you will, and I'd really love to hear the story behind this one.
Okay, yeah. Some of us people don't like being called vintage, but that's all right.
Okay, fair enough.
No, but that was, the standard calling card for any actor is your headshot.
Sure.
And actually, I can give you more of those because I've got because you always have the standard headshot. That was my favorite one because I look nice and approachable and that sort of thing. But then I've also got the I look like a cop kind of thing. And then you've got the 3/4 body, and then you've got the full body, and then you've got your comp card, which is a compilation of like some comedy shots and that sort of thing. Right. And you have to all of those because when you go to an audition, it's like, well, you're auditioning for a cop. Right. I'm not going to send that one. Do that. Right. No, but actually, this was my $150 haircut. Right. And I am looking for a barber or a hair salon someplace who can reproduce this because my photographer, after meeting, she wrote me a prescription for a haircut. Right. And we went to this place on Rodeo Drive where
Right.
they give you a robe and, a cappuccino and sit
Right.
you down and, rub your head. And it was a great haircut, you
Right.
know. $150, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm more of the $16 to $18 haircut kind of guy.
Yeah.
But I always take this picture with me and I go,
Right.
please try and reproduce this.
Right.
And I think they do a great, because
Oh yeah, looking good, looking
Thank
sharp.
you very
Oh
much.
yeah. So the next thing, I just wanted to talk about your family a little bit. So do you have a family?
I do have a family. I've got a mother, I've got a father, I got a brother,
Right.
I got nieces, I got nephews.
Sure.
I am married to Katie. We will be October 7th. We will be 30 years married.
Wow.
We were engaged for like 7 years before that.
Right.
I met her when she was 18 years old. We
Right.
were going to college together. We were dance partners in cabaret.
Right.
I was Max the bartender, and she was Fräulein Kost. And she just liked me right from the get-go, and it took about a year.
Right.
No, actually, no. Our first official date was the cast party for cabaret.
Okay. Gotcha.
And I knew she was the one. Took her a while to realize that I was right, and
Yeah.
her initial feelings were incorrect.
It clearly worked out.
Yeah,
37
it
years
did.
later.
Yeah.
It's worked.
So far.
Yeah.
You never know what tomorrow's going to bring, They say I'm middle-aged, so I'm going to live to 116 years old.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
we got time,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I have a daughter. She is 24, was just recently married. Married a Marine, Luke. They're stationed up in Virginia right now.
Right.
Which is really nice, because here at least we're only 6 hours away from her as opposed to 18, 19 hours.
Right.
These
Right.
are good things. I have a son. He is 19, and he is attending Western Illinois University and living at the house we still own in Macomb, Illinois.
Ah. Gotcha.
And in fact, it's really nice, because anytime we have to go back there, because I still have stuff there, I'm still moving it.
Sure.
I have a place to live, and that's
Gotcha. And now, so what are your children's names?
My oldest, Keely, is Keely Quinn,
Right.
and Quinn was her grandmother's maiden name, so that's sort of a family name. My wife, Katie, is first generation Irish. Her grandparents were like right off the boat from
Right.
Ireland. And so her name is Kathleen Regina. Her mother's name was Kathleen Regina. Her grandmother's name was Kathleen Regina.
Right.
Hence
Bit
why
of a trend.
Hence why Keely's name is not Kathleen Regina.
Fair enough.
And then Joe, my youngest, well, we only have two. He's 19, attending college. He's a sophomore at Western Illinois University. His middle name is Lawrence. And that's my middle name, that's my father's middle name, and that's my grandfather's middle name. Now, my great-grandfather was Francisco. So that didn't work,
Right.
He was,
Right. Fair enough. And so you and your family came here from Western Illinois University, like we discussed. And so how are you liking Morganton so far, and what are some of your favorite bits?
We thought it was going to be a lot alike, because Macomb, 17,000, Morganton, 20,000. No, verse that. Okay.
Reverse that, right.
But so we thought, it's going to be about the same. I mean, Macomb is, 17,000 people, or anyway. Yeah, I'm really good at numbers.
Yes,
I'll have you know
yes,
that.
absolutely.
But we were coming from a quote unquote smaller town.
Right.
So we expected, this to have less. Macomb, 2 subways. I judge everything on your food establishments.
Right.
We had a Walmart. We had one major grocery store. There's 2 McDonald's, just one on the east side of town and the west side of town. But we just got a Chick-fil-A there a year ago,
Right.
and it's not even a freestanding; it's at the university. So when we rolled into town, and first thing you see is Sonic, and you find out they have a Chick-fil-A,
Right.
and multiple hotels, and the restaurants, and the art scene, and almost every day we find something about Morganton that we had loved in other towns.
Yeah.
My daughter, her first year of college was at Mizzou, which is in Columbia, Missouri. And there was a place we used to love to go there. It was, olive oil and balsamic vinegar store.
Right.
When we found the one here, I'm going,
Yeah.
I spent $72 there the other day, and my wife was going, just like, what? I go, this is dinner. I got cheese. What do you want? Bread. Let's go. But it was like the Chick-fil-A, the art galleries that exist. I mean, all the makers that are here. Right. Macomb would have a Heritage Days festival. Right. That pales in comparison to the festival here. Yeah. It's I don't know. I mean, there's a sense of just this life inside Macomb. People love, or as they say, Burke County. Right. That was one thing that Katie and I were talking about the other day is, so where are you from? Any place that says, oh, I'm from Macomb, I'm from Andover, I'm from Los Angeles. And where are you from? I was born in Burke County. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I got that. And another thing is the to-go glasses. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Well, before I came here, I was never asked, we got our, and the sweet tea, that's our thing. I'm a 50-50 guy, or just, straight unsweet. But then they go, do you want a take-home glass, or you want it to go? And we're just letting them go, never. Of course. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the answer. Of course we do. Right. But no place in the United States that we have lived has that even been a thing. Right. And it's just like, wow. And the Southern hospitality. That is alive and well in Burke County. Yes. Even we went and met somebody in Hickory at the furniture store we were looking at too. Sweet people. Yeah. We'll give you information. We'll tell you things. They're not afraid to tell you what their favorite things are. And I'm going, bring it on. I'm here. It's yeah. And well, so speaking of food and makers, and you have some pretty interesting hobbies. You're a Kansas City Barbecue Society judge, and you're also a maker. You like tinkering and building things, and so tell us a little bit about your hobbies. I'm a certified KCBS barbecue judge, which is a very difficult thing to do. You sit down and they bring you food and you eat it and write down what you think about it. The training for it, actually, there is a training to be certified. It's a day-long training. The first half of the day you spend just talking about, these are KCBS standards. This is how things have to be arranged. This is how we do things. This is how judging. Second half of the day, they brought us food, and we practiced judging chicken, pork, brisket, and that sort of thing. And but actually, I've judged quite a few events, and they're a good time. I'm also I smoke stuff myself. My smoker died, so I'm actually looking to make one. In the house we're renting, there is an old oil tank. I have to talk to my landlord. But I'm thinking,
might be a new smoker.
Yeah, I'm thinking so too. If I could, because we don't use it anymore. We're modern technology inside the house. Right. And if he wants it removed, if he'll remove it and give it to me, that bad boy could be beautiful, because I want it. Because how we do when you do something, you're going, well, I use this thing, but if I had my druthers, I would change it to be this and that. And yeah, because I want reverse flow. I want there to be a water bath inside of it. I want it, and this could be it. You'll never know. And I also say that I'm a maker. I like making stuff. I'll electrify anything. Turn anything into a lamp. I've got 3 or 4 projects right now that are like, there are times when you're going, I know I want to use this. I don't know how I'm going to do it. You'll take a couple pieces and you kind of sit them together in some place where you walk past them all the time. And you're going, I know it won't work, and then you move on. But like lately, I've been taking hardbound books and stacking them, put them on, like an oak base, and you use old Edison bulbs and frames. I've got some gorgeous stuff, and I'm bringing it back. I also make incense burners out of bottles, which you actually have to drill holes in them. And it's not so hard, the things making, but it's developing the techniques to do. It's like drilling a book. I don't know if you ever tried to drill a hole through a book. As you do it, even if you have a sharp, fast blade on your bit, it kind of bunches up, and so it doesn't drill through it. It kind of, and then you end up with this clunky thing, and it's not clean and precise. And
Right.
developing the techniques to actually being able to drill a hole in a book is not easy. But once you do it, then you can do it. And I can set up. I had a commission about a year ago. A lady's mom passed, and she had a bunch of books, and she knew what I did, and she said, "Can you make lamps out of these?" And I made 7 of them. And they were nice little short lamps, bases, and that sort of thing. But you can set up an assembly line, but once you've developed the techniques to do it. And that's really the hardest part. I think that's why a lot of us do make things, it's a challenge, How am I going to do this? How am I going to make this do? I also like making book saves. Like you take a hardbound book, you cut out the insides of it, you line it with, with some pretty material, and you put money in it. So I've told my children when I die, and I will die, I'm sure,
Sometime.
Yeah, sometime, hopefully not today, tomorrow. Don't throw any of my books away. Go through them, because there's money in some of them. Less and less after the move, but at times there is.
At times.
Or valuable things that I value, and then maybe not money.
Right.
But.
And well, so speaking of the move, when you first moved here and settled in and started the director of Kamma job, you had a big first week. We hosted the Jacksons and then went right into the Morganton Festival. And so how have you liked it so far? How was that first week, and how are you liking the staff that you work with?
Oh, first off, my staff, they are, everybody knows what they're doing. Everybody is good at what they're doing. They've been operating without a director for about 6 months. So, I wasn't going to come in here and just go, all right, new sheriff in town, what you're doing, don't do that no more. No, because they're great. You got Amber, she's up there running everything. You got Casey, you've got James, keeping things going. You got Jamie, you've got Tony, and they all do it. And then even the crews that come in, because we brought in, bring in our crew, and most of them are local crew to do the Jacksons. They come in, they do what they are, and we all have fun, because that's why we come into this profession. Hopefully anybody goes into any profession because they enjoy doing it. And there's a camaraderie in the theater too, where we all have shared interests, and we all have shared world that we live in. Even when we were just talking about the lights and that kind of thing right there, that same lighting instrument is going to be in Las Vegas, and it's going to be in New York City, and that's going to be in Sao Paulo, and it's going to be in Mexico City. This right here, this is the fly rail. This is going to be in any theater. This is how we do things. And whether you speak one language or another language, we all speak the language of theater.
Yes.
It was weird when I was in Las Vegas. Someone once asked me, he says, "Grab me a bottle," and I'm going, "What?" That's what they call lamps, or the light bulb inside inside a lighting instrument, a bottle. And but once I knew that's what he called it, I'm there, I'm with you.
I got you.
But no, love Morganton, love the staff. And the hard part has been to find out where I fit in. I've been doing this for 35 years plus, and for the last 11 years, I've been a one-man show. I've done the video, I shot the video, I edited the video, I installed, the video screens and ran the network, in the lobby. I ran the box office. I did all of that. And now I've got, people who are incredibly competent and doing. Now, hopefully, I will have gathered some insight or knowledge, through my 35 years, that we can enhance, what people are doing. Because I look at my job, and I think any good manager's job is hire the right people and give them the tools that they need to do what they need to do. And if that tool is a hammer, if that tool is, attending a class on how to do something, if that tool is a new piece of software, or learning how to do different things with the software, that's my job. But I have to know their jobs before I can know what they need to do their job better. And that's really what I'm doing for this first, the first 6 months even is, you know, I'm learning what they do. I'm learning who they are too, because, you know, we all want to enjoy our jobs, but different people want different things from, some people want a pat on the back, some people just want to, you know, here, have a piece of gum.
Sure.
You know, you don't know. And I know they're all competent. I know they're all great. And it's just, you know, how do we keep that going and how do we make it even better? And if we make this, you know, what we do better and how we do what we do better, then Kamma will be better.
Right.
And that's another thing is, you know, I'm meeting people. I don't remember anybody's names, you know. Well, because I'm meeting hundreds and hundreds of people.
Sure.
And that's my job, and eventually I will. And also that's why I have Katie, because she remembers people's names. Now I might remember, you know, who you're married to. I might remember, you know, where you went to high school, and a name will just be gone from my mind. I know who you are, but you know, I know where you work, but you know, name. So I just smile and say, hey, how you doing? So nobody be offended, you know, if I don't address you by name. I know who you are, but nobody has to go to business after hours. And I am just meeting with people to know. And it's been great. You know, people say, oh, you're the new guy? All right, well, I'm so-and-so. Here's my card. You know, I'm going to come and talk to you. Come and talk to me.
Oh, yeah.
And that's another reason we exist here, is we are the municipal auditorium. We are here to host things. We are here to, and it doesn't have to be a performance. And we have meetings here. The quilt show that's happening out in the lobby right now. There are also some small groups that just use us as a meeting space. You know, because we have, you know, up on the third floor, we have a big table with chairs. We have capabilities of, you know, food service capabilities and you know, production capabilities, and you know, we can do everything. We've got the huge lobby. We have this area right here. And the volunteers. Oh my.
Oh yeah.
You know, last night we did a American in Paris. It was basically outside. It was a little chilly, all granted, but it was nice. We had blankets and we all cuddled. But it was just, even though we technically maybe didn't need all the ushers we have, but our ushers are so great. And they're volunteers, and they showed up. And they were here, and you know, they were setting up chairs for people, and they were greeting people, and they were handing out popcorn, and then they sat down and watched the show, and we were all together. And it's just, I love, again, I love that from Morganton and the theater. It's a sense of community, you know, and that's why we are here. That's why we bring people together for, you know, 90 minutes during a show or a movie. People that wouldn't normally speak to each other, we're all sitting together and we're sharing an experience. And it's, you know, it doesn't have to be life-changing, but maybe that 90 minutes that you're sitting next to somebody who you don't know or would normally not even speak to, it may change things.
It just might.
You never know.
And so all that taken into account, what has your favorite part of the job been so far?
I have so many favorite parts of it. I enjoy meeting new people. I enjoy seeing a new facility, and this facility is monster. It's wonderful. I enjoy, because every time I look at it and I go, we can do this. And there are acts I've been working with for years and years and years. I'm going, this act will look great. There's a few acts that I have never been able to book just because I did not have the physical abilities to do their shows. That's changed. I mean, there are acts, and I think in the coming seasons, you're going to see some neat stuff on this stage. You're going to see people that you know from television, from the movies, because they're only doing those things for a little bit part of their time. The rest of the time, you know, to make a living, they come and see us.
Oh yeah.
You know, come to the Kamma where we bring the stars to you. But I love booking stuff. I love figuring out how we're going to do things, because it's all a challenge. And it is, like I said before, if nobody dies, you know, we all win. And you say we make a choice. Okay, maybe that wasn't a great idea. Okay, so next time we do it, we're going to do it this way. You know, and then there's always something that maybe doesn't work perfectly that we can tweak. But I like to invent the wheel one time, and then, you know, okay, let's do that same time next year. but let's do it differently this time, or maybe, and sometimes it doesn't really, it's not obvious to the general public what we did, what we fixed, but maybe it's just something internal so that it, we waste less paper or we whatever, but constant improvement, because nothing is ever, do the same thing, different day. It's always, we change it a little bit just to make it work better, because, basically we're all lazy people and we just want, we want it easier to do,
Gotcha. Well, and so now that you've been here for a few weeks and you're settling in and you're seeing all this cool tech that we have and all these possibilities, the last thing I really wanted to ask you was, what is your vision for Kamma going forward?
What is my vision? Wow. I want to build upon the things that we have happening right now. I want to, and again, this is a part of the meeting people. Eventually in the next few months, I'm going to create a Kamma community committee, which will basically just, I want representation of all of our constituents out there. I mean, we've got, we've got seniors, we've got high schoolers, we've got junior college people, we've got our immigrant population, and that's you can't just lump all of them together. There's Guatemalan and Hmong, and and all of this too. We have our our church communities, we have our other community. I mean, there's all these things too, and I want to bring one or two representatives of all of them into one room, maybe even once a month. And it's like Amber and I, we're constantly looking at new acts. We constantly go to booking conferences and see, the latest and greatest, and see, what's still around and the people that are still alive that are touring and that sort of thing. But I know what I know. I know what I like, and I'm a middle-aged white guy, from Kansas. I know that. Amber knows what she knows, but we don't share. We share some, things with all of these other constituents, but I want to know, and we'll, show videos of we're looking at this. This is what this thing is, and our job is not to bring, the most popular, so people just come and see it and stuff. It's also to build a trust in the community that, I came and saw that, and that was great, and I don't know what this is, but that was good. And so hopefully when it's like we got the monks coming, and that's, there's some weirdness, it is. Weird in the fact that many people might not have ever been exposed to what they're doing. It's like making the mandala out of sand. Some people go, what? And the guy spends hours, because it's a form of meditation, it's a form of prayer, that kind of stuff. But hopefully, you see this right there, and you go, oh, okay, I get it. And then we're doing a whole week of free, lectures and seminars and that kind of stuff. Then a final performance, and I think they even do some throat singing, which well, you actually do 2 and 3 octaves in the throat. My wife, who is a singer, hates that, because she just hears that and goes, "Oh my God, how are they doing this? This would kill my throat." I make a living doing this. But that's the kind of thing you got to come and see it even one time, just to go, I didn't know humans could do that. I don't know why they do that, but also it'll be explained. But that's another thing too, is just to keep the trust, and also utilize this space more. People never consider some things. They think, well, I want to do a family reunion, or I want to do a wedding reception, and so you go to the usual suspects, kind of places to do. We can do things here that you may never even thought of. Because of the technology we have, the lights, sound, fog machines. We could make entrances like you wouldn't believe, and they will remember your wedding. Or bar mitzvah, or whatever. I think we're doing a quinceanera.
Really?
In a couple of weeks here. Because it's perfect, and awesome. we can fit a lot of people. We got chairs, we got tables, we got tablecloths. We got all of that. But just like I said, continue it on, and branch it out. And I'm a big proponent of joining together with other organizations. Either co-sponsoring, And it's also too, I want people to know what we do and that we do things.
Right.
You'll see us at many celebrity or fundraising auctions.
Yes.
Pair of tickets to a show. You need something. I know this may open the floodgates, but
Yeah.
call us. If we can support you in some way,
Right.
and we can raise our profile in the community, you'll bring it on. I mean, that's why we're here.
Right.
We are here to support the community and
Right.
bring everybody together and
Right.
do our thing.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, I know the city is really excited to have you here, and we're looking forward to working with you for a long, long time. So I
Well,
appreciate you sitting down today.
We're excited, and we plan on being here till we die. So
Absolutely. Perfect. Thank you, Mike.
thank you
Appreciate
very much, Ethan. Appreciate it.